Should versus would versus will, Boardroom English for Finance. Words signal risk as loudly as numbers. In finance, tone shapes trust, perceived risk, and whether stakeholders feel safe taking action. Modals, words like will, should, and would, tell your audience how certain or cautious you are. Use them to align your message with the evidence and the stakes. Presenting early-stage analysis? Sound exploratory. Presenting a signed-off plan? Sound decisive. When your language matches your data strength and decision point, you reduce misunderstandings, avoid overpromising, and build credibility with investors, clients, and the board. Use will to signal a firm promise or confident forecast. It fits when the data is strong, the assumptions are validated, and the action is approved. Example: synergies will reach $40 million in year 2, backed by signed contracts and detailed integration plans. This modal sets expectations and invites accountability. The downside? It can sound rigid or overconfident if uncertainty remains. If regulatory approval or market volatility could derail outcomes, consider softening or adding clear assumptions so you don't lock yourself into a claim you can't defend. Use should to offer a recommendation grounded in analysis without making a promise. It's ideal for guiding leadership toward the best option given current evidence. Example: we should reduce exposure to long-duration bonds given rate volatility. This phrasing invites discussion and signals openness to board input while still pointing to a preferred path. It shows professional judgment, not certainty. If your team needs stakeholder alignment or policy sign-off, should keeps the door open for refinement while maintaining a clear, data-backed point of view. Use would to describe outcomes that depend on specific conditions. It's also great for softening proposals in sensitive contexts. Example: ROIC would improve by 120 bits per second if we exit non-core markets. This highlights scenarios and trade-offs without implying approval or inevitability. Would helps model alternatives, run stress cases, and discuss options with partners who value diplomacy. It keeps analysis rigorous and respectful, making it easy to compare paths. Cost would fall under Plan A, but revenue would grow faster under Plan B. Hedging isn't weakness, it's precision. Anchor claims with evidence, based on Q3 data and stress tests. Limit claims with scope. In the short term, under current rates, with no supply shocks. Flag uncertainty honestly, likely, appears, suggests. Combine them. EBITDA should improve based on Q3 run rate, under current pricing, though margins appear sensitive to freight costs. This structure makes your rationale transparent, helps the board evaluate risks, and protects credibility if conditions change. Will. EBITDA will rise 5% post-merger. Use when integration plan is approved, synergy levers are validated, and sensitivity shows limited downside. Should. We should delay issuance until spreads narrow. A recommendation from market monitoring and cost of capital analysis. Would. ROIC would improve if we divest non-core. A conditional outcome tied to execution and timing. Notice how each modal adjusts commitment level. Match the sentence to your evidence and decision stage to guide the room toward the right action. Do. Match your modal to evidence strength. Escalate from would right pointing arrow, should right pointing arrow will as validation and approvals increase. Do. State assumptions before conclusions so listeners know the boundaries. Don't. Promise with will and then hedge vaguely. If conditions apply, say them clearly. Do. Use clean structure. Context, evidence, conclusion, risk. Don't. Mix modals in one claim. It confuses commitment. Clarity wins debates and minutes. Will equals commit when evidence is strong and approvals are in place. Should equals recommend based on analysis, inviting discussion. Would equals conditional for scenarios, sensitivities, and polite proposals. Pair modals with hedges. Cite data, define scope, and label uncertainty. Always align your language with risk level, audience expectations, and the approval stage. Choose the modal that matches your proof and consequences, and your messages will sound confident, careful, and credible.